So this Dennis Baker guy's just put some photos of Cadbury Castle, which is near Yeovil, north of Yeovil, and I can't believe it because I actually used to go to Yeovil every week, and on the right-hand side of the dual carriageway, as you approach Yeovil, there's a huge hill called Ham Hill, and it's actually very, very, very big. It's a very large hill, huge. It's just an enormous size area, I think it's kind of getting towards Maiden Castle sort of size. And there was some quarrying on there, but I actually went up it because it is a little bit like a hill fort, but it's not meant to be a hill fort. It's got a pub up there, and it's actually got toilets and car parking thing, but it's not recognised or meant to be an hill fort. But they've got some ancient stones up there, but like mock ones. They're not really ancient stones, they're just pretend ones. Took some photos up there. As it turns out, this actual legitimate proper hill fort is actually also near Yeovil, but you can't see it from dual carriageway, and it's actually north. It's only a few miles though, it's not far. I could have visited it and I'm really annoyed actually. This is it. It's actually very, very similar type of shape and style to Old Oswestry. I would have liked to have gone to it actually. These are the photos that they've put. There's some, I think that's looking at it from further away actually. Unless that might be the, I wonder if one of them's looking towards the Ham Hill place, I'm not sure. Oh no, that's just like a trig point on the hill, I think. Not quite sure why it goes down there. Maybe someone did some digging, tried to look for something in there. This, the fortification is there. So this is the Cadbury Hill Fort, right? There's meant to be another one. It looks like there's another one near it. I want to measure how far it is, because if it's about 3.5 kilometres, then I think we've hit the jackpot there, with Sisbury Ring and Chanterbury Ring being 3.5 kilometres. And if these two up by us are 3.5 kilometres as well. So anyway, but I measured this Cadbury's one across. It's very, very sort of similar to Old Oswestry actually. Really similar. It's about 3.5 miles. Sorry. The distance across it is 0.3 miles, sorry. 0.3 mile. It's 0.3 mile across the top of it, right, including earthworks, more or less. Now, if you look at Old Oswestry, right, it's got a narrower way across it, but it's approximately 0.3 miles. Right? So Old Oswestry is about 0.3 miles across it. And Cadbury's. Oswestry is actually a different shape, it's a little bit more narrower. Now, but the orientation, that point at the top of Old Oswestry, can you see that point at the top there? Sort of pointing upwards, kind of like an arrow shape of it. So that aligns perfectly with our hill fort pointing that way. Well, I'm going to refer to it as a hill fort now because I think it was. Now, when you measure out 0.3 mile, right? If it was nothing like 0.3 mile, you know, you could have like, you know, a smaller hill or a bigger hill, but it is sort of around 0.3 mile. Now, the thing is, it's smooth though. The edges are, or it's got an entrance to it, but it is more mound shaped. It might not have been though. The thing is, if you consider, right, that it's not far off 0.3 mile, right? If it had earthworks around it that identified it as a hill fort, right? And if someone wanted to unidentify it as a hill fort or make it look like it wasn't a hill fort, right? Then it's not going to be possible to level the whole thing and flatten it, right? Because it's not realistically possible. I mean, the saying that Silbury Hill took longer to make than Stonehenge, and it's a man-made hill, Silbury Hill. So to move that amount of earth, right, is kind of... It took longer than to build Stonehenge, the whole monument, took a long time. But it took even longer to make Silbury Hill, right? And that's not even that big. Now, Silbury Hill is what you call a small hill. That's a small hill. It's never seen 0.3 mile across it, right? So, you know. Now, if I had an hill fort and I wanted to make it not into a hill fort or something like that, what could I do to it when it's too big to level the whole thing? Well, you could just get rid of all the sides, all the fortifications and the earthworks, and smooth it off and make it just look like a natural hill or a mound. And if I did do that, or if I did direct someone to do that, like if I had a Roman army and Roman soldiers, or, you know, De Lacy, right? What would it end up looking like after I had smoothed all the ripples around the edge, and you know, which that is possible, and smoothed and rounded it off and brought it in at least a tiny bit, taking into account that leveling the whole thing would be impossible. But what is possible is to smooth it all off and round it in. What shape would it end up like if I did that? Well, it would end up like that, wouldn't it? Would it, or would it not? If I took all the earthworks, smoothed them over, right, taking into account that it would be too much of a job to level the whole thing, unless I persistently, you know, worked at it forever, right, you know, it'd end up like that. So, and then you can't actually completely do it because there's some major rock and stone in there, like, because someone's had a go at trying to quarry into the side of it, and you've got massive, like, you know, literally stone. It's like, because, you know, it's got, you know, it's got the earth in it, you know. So that's what it looked like, and that's what I think's happened to it. I think it was a hill fort, because, you know, why would it be flat, smooth and level on the top? And why would it be, this is a question, why would it be 0.3 kilometres from another hill fort? Why would it be 0.3 kilometres from another hill fort? Why? Oh, it looks like an hill fort that's been smoothed and rounded off to make it look like it's not a hill fort. You know, when it's 0.3 miles from a hill fort that is an hill fort. And do we have any other hill forts that happen to be about 0.3 kilometres away from each other? Oh, yes, there are. On the south coast at Worthing, Shanktonbury Ring and Sisbury Ring, which would be a large job and task to level off Sisbury Ring, because it's as big as Maiden Castle. Although you could have a go at doing it by razzing your tanks over it, like conjuring up a war, particularly when Varley started excavating Castle Hill, and then you kick a war off, because you're not right happy about them, you know, finding out about it and celebrating it. So you get angry, you get a bit hot and bothered, and then you get your general, naughty general, to start smacking the Celtic bottoms by razzing his tanks up and down Sisbury Ring, backwards and forwards, hoping he can vandalise as much as possible before they get around to excavating that properly. Well, we'll tear it up a bit with his tanks. Smack the bottoms of the naughty Celts. How dare they? How dare Varley excavate Castle Hill? Let's tear it up a little bit. Let's razz those tanks over it. Get some wheel spins on there as well. Vum, 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 vum. Yes, Sergeant Major. Yes, General. Get that fucking hill fort fucking vandalised. Get those tanks wheel spinning on there. Vum, 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 vum. Tear it up. No, don't go practice it, you know, up and down Salisbury Plain. Get it torn up and down Sisbury Ring. You know, try tearing it up and down Maiden Castle. I don't think the people of Dorchester would be that happy about it. So, you know, they managed to keep the town safe and adequate distance away from it, although they're trying to creep up to Oloswestry. Someone's taking the mick, right? And it ain't me, right? I'm telling you now. Someone is taking the mick because of the fact that there is three hill forts in West Yorkshire, which is Dunelm, and Castle Hill, which are actually... They're actually Long Barrow hill forts, and this 3 because you can get two next to each other, and then now there's actually another hill. Someone's just showed me photos that you can see something. There's another hill from Cadbury. He said it's Pen Hill or something. I'm just going to try and measure how far it is away from it.